Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Oh my word, it is turning out worse than I thought it would. I'm suffering from secondhand embarrassment. I really don't know where to start, as it is just too much trouble to try and get it in chronological order. Of course, I'm talking about Harry and his court case. It is clear that MGN's barrister, Mr. Green, is not treating the way he, Harry, thought he would be treated. Mr. Green is not making any excuses or concessions for Harry being an ex prince. As a matter of fact, Mr. Green is doing exactly what he is being paid to do, and that is defending his clients by pulling Harry and his statements apart. And Harry is doing so badly that I do not know whether I should laugh or cry. Here is a random list of Harryisms before we get into the business of the actual trial. Harry states that yes, he is paranoid. A couple of minutes later, he says his mother was not paranoid, she was like him, fearful. Harry also says he does not walk down streets. He claims he was severely distressed by articles he did not read. And we thought claiming to have his cell phone hacked 2 years before he had a cell phone was bad. Oh, baby, it gets worse. Harry, in his statement, also attributed the reporting on an injury to his hand, namely a chipped thumb bone, an injury he sustained while playing sport, to phone hacking. Unfortunately for Harry, Mr. Green proved in court that the injury was reported on by another news outlet a day earlier than the Mirror, and the news came from a palace spokesperson. Mr. Green, after debunking the fact that Harry's phone could have been hacked, he asked Harry if it wasn't his, then whose phone, or what explanation does he have? Harry says he's not sure. Maybe the doctor's phones were hacked. Oh my word. Anyway, at one point, Harry seems to panic a little, in my opinion, after yet another of his stories were debunked, and turned to the judge and said, "It is not my role to deconstruct these articles." To which Mr. Green responded, "You made reference in your witness statement, so I may challenge and probe." Quite rightly so. This goes on and on and on, and as I read through it, I can actually feel Harry's panic. So the journalist who came out and said he was cool, calm, and collected, yeah, I guess he didn't lose his temper or anything like that. But I think there were a few moments where he felt rather panicked. But I may be wrong. Anyway, as I said, I thought I could actually feel Harry's panic, and over and above that, I started to suffer from secondhand embarrassment so badly that I started sweating and had to take my coat off. Article after article was debunked yesterday. Harry complained about another story about going rock climbing instead of attending a pageant. And again, Mr. Green proved that this story was published in the Daily Mail and the Mail on Sunday before it was ever published in the Daily Mirror. I mean, oops. Harry complained about an article focusing on his 18th birthday party. Unfortunately, the personal information Harry complained about in the article was information Harry himself gave in an interview. Now, hang in there, guys. Are you still with me, or had you run off and gone into hiding on Harry's behalf? For those of you who are still here, it carries on and on and on. Harry claims the 3-line story about him becoming a parade commander was gathered illegally. I mean, oh shame, I had to pull out a hanky to wipe my eyes because tears of laughter and of a little sadness were rolling down my cheeks as Mr. Green read out a press release issued by the palace 24 hours earlier announcing Harry's new role and achievement. How sad is that? So far, almost every article Harry has been questioned on has been debunked, except maybe one. We also know that the Mirror has already, in the past, admitted and apologized for one incident, so that was done and dusted. At the end of day two, it is clear that Harry brought no proof to the table. So far, it sounds like he should have taken his case to a psychiatrist or a priest and not the court. Harry also displayed arrogance and a lack of respect for the judge and the court, not only by not appearing on Monday, but when the judge ordered him not to discuss his evidence with anyone overnight, he thought it was funny, hilarious actually, to ask the judge whether he could Skype with his children. Well, Harry may have thought it was funny, but I don't know of anyone else who thought it was funny. Anyway, in a short while, I'll start catching up on today's procedure and evidence. Maybe Harry will surprise us and come up with something today, or maybe it will get worse. We'll have to wait and see. I've unfortunately been out and about all morning, so I am going to catch up as soon as I'm done with this. Just quickly, while we were following the case in Britain, the Heritage Foundation had their case concerning Harry's visa application heard. Now, I've listened to a few YouTubers, and it is clear to me that they got the story all wrong, and they are telling you all that Homeland Security has to produce the visa application in 7 days. That is not quite true. Sam Dewey, the lawyer for the Heritage Foundation, argued exactly what I have been thinking and saying, namely that the case is bigger than one person. Yes, it is about Harry and his visa application, but it is also about the Department of Homeland Security. The judge gave DHS until the 13th of June not to produce the document, but to decide how or if they are going to respond to the Heritage Foundation's request. And if they don't, then Judge Nichols will have to rule on whether it is in the public's interest to make the records available to the Heritage Foundation. So, no, he did not rule that they have to produce the visa application by the 13th, but only that they have to decide how they're going to deal with it by the 13th. And if they do not agree with the decision, or if they do not make a decision by the 13th, then the judge will rule. So, okay, guys and girls, I do have an opinion on all of this, but I'm going to hang on a bit until I have seen or heard or read today's cross examination by Mr. Green. But suffice it to say, I still think some kind of intervention for Harry is desperately needed. I think Harry may feel a false sense of bravado at the moment because such is his delusion. I believe that Harry thinks he will win these cases and that he will get his money from the Mirror and that he will be victorious in the issue in the United States. But I think he is going to lose in both or at least one of them. And I think it is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I honestly cannot see Harry walking away from all of this unscathed. Remember, he had already lost his case regarding metropolitan security. But that, I know, can be circumvented, as we also know it will be. Yes, he will go stay at Buckingham Palace, where there is already metropolitan security, and he will be escorted in and out and round and about by security and services already available at Buckingham Palace. So I don't think Harry was too bothered about that, except maybe for the money it cost him to actually bring the application. But this case against the media is a lot more personal. And we also know how the visa situation can eventually affect his life. So we'll see where all of this ends, and we can and will indeed discuss it a little more once I've heard and read all of the cross examination evidence. So until then, my dear friend, take good care of yourself until we meet on the next one. Bye.